as another competitive campaign gets underway for Celtic. And it's the hosts who get proceedings underway. They'll obviously be trying to keep things tight in the opening stages, hoping to account for another Scottish scalp in European competition. Alashkert having dispatched St Johnstone a couple of seasons ago in the Europa League, and early pressure from the hosts forcing Jozo Siminovic into a hurried clearance there, Tony. And we spoke about what strategy Alashkert would take into this contest, and looking as though they're starting with a 4-1-4-1, so hoping to contain Celtic in the early stages. Yeah, they won't want to concede an away goal, so they'll be looking to sit deep. At the same time, Celtic, I don't imagine you'll see them press as vigorously as they usually do, given the heat. But Alashkert are no strangers to this round of the competition. They've played 8 times in the Champions League qualification first round, and they've won all their first round ties, so I'm sure Brendan Rodgers and the team will be well aware for that. Alashkert trying to put Craig Gordon under pressure there, but the Hoops get away with that one and work the ball forward up the right hand side. It's Moussa Dembele showing good close control. Nice interchange of passing there from the Hoops, and a foul is eventually awarded there for the challenge on Callum McGregor. Celtic just taking the restart quickly as they start down the left hand side. Tierney on the ball, cutting infield. He's rolling the ball back to Craig Gordon. Plenty of time for the Celtic goalkeeper this time to launch this one forward in the direction of Moussa Dembele, but the ball is headed back into the goalkeeper's arms by Pravsnovski. And it'll be the goalkeeper, Kancerevic, who will just take this one short as Alashkert try and build some early momentum. Good closing down there from Incham. That's a fair challenge, and Scott Brown is there to back up his fellow midfielder. Celtic unable to capitalise on stealing possession, however, and it will be the Armenian champions back on the ball. Alashkert, who have won the domestic title here 3 years in succession, as the Hoops put Kancerevic under pressure there. It was Moussa Dembele in close attendance. And Brendan Rodgers will be happy to see that, his players working hard and closing down. As a late challenge goes in there on Scott Brown, and the referee's going to have a word here with the Alashkert midfielder. It was a nasty one there, Tony, just a bit of a late one as both players contested that high ball. Yeah, neither of them pulling out there. Looks like Scott Brown took a forearm to the face, but he's up now. He's no stranger to a harsh tackle. I think a lot of opposition players try to rile him up, but they're not going to get a response anymore. Scott Brown much more level-headed and composed than I think what a lot of opponents may think. A player who's certainly composed is Callum McGregor, as he tried to make inroads there down the right channel into the box. Celtic have the ball back through McGregor. McGregor out to Forrest on the touchline, back inside to McGregor. Good play. It's McGregor with a shot. It's the first chance, and it's straight at the goalkeeper, Kancerevic. Lovely play though from Celtic down that right hand side. Good link-up play between Callum McGregor and James Forrest, and it was the former who had the shot just right at the goalkeeper, Tony. Yeah, that was a lovely wee dummy there from Callum McGregor. He's just hit it with the inside of his left foot, looking for that bottom corner. Very composed strike, and we're familiar with that with Callum McGregor. He scored 12 goals last season, and he's excellent in front of goal. Very calm, and he really looked to test the keeper there. Well, an early scare there for the home side, but encouragement for Celtic. And can they build on that and get an early breakthrough, which would certainly be a confidence booster and a morale booster as they look to collect the victory out here in Armenia. It's Craig Gordon on the ball though, after a long ball was launched forward there with no real purpose by Alashkert. Celtic employing a back three once again, which has proved so successful for Brendan Rodgers in pre-season. The same starting 11 of course who took on Shamrock Rovers at the weekend with that thumping 7-0 victory. Plenty of goals throughout the side as Kieran Tierney is the latest Celtic player to be felled on that touchline. The Celtic youngster is okay though, and he's back on his feet and ready to restart proceedings quickly. Just playing it to Scott Brown. Brown back to the Celtic defence, and it's now Incham on the ball. Incham with a dangerous ball into the middle in the direction of Odsonne Edouard, and that forces a hurried clearance and the first corner of the game for Celtic.
That was good from Olivier Ntcham. He's excellent at doing that, driving forward with the ball. He's looked up, tried to pick out his teammate, just curl it with the outside of his foot. Odzon Edouard was in the box. The defence have managed to scramble it clear though, and it's a Celtic corner now, but good to see Celtic threatening early on.
It will be Ntcham to take this set piece. It's an in-swinger, it's towards the middle of the box, and it's actually won by Christopher Ayer who won that, but he just couldn't direct that goalwards, Tony.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was Christopher Ayer or Jack Henry, I can't tell, but yeah, they got on the end of it, but as you say, couldn't direct it goalwards. It's come back out the box now. Celtic retain possession, and here's Olivier Ntcham looking to start a new attack.
Yeah, Ntcham with the ball across. It's a one towards the edge of the box, looking in the direction there of maybe Cal McGregor coming in as Alashkert try and break, but Kieran Tierney and Craig Gordon look to have covered that attack, with the Celtic goalkeeper eventually putting the ball out of play for a throw into the hosts. Celtic looking the brighter of the two teams in the opening 5-6 minutes or so of this first round of the UEFA Champions League. Celtic, of course, having to play 4 qualifiers this season. Certainly something that seems amiss about that, with the Hoops qualifying for the group stages for the past 2 seasons, but they will get about their job with gusto and purpose, and hopefully it will be 3 years in a row for Brendan Rodgers and his players, as Scott Brown is on the ball on the halfway line to Ntcham out to Tierney. Celtic seen plenty of the ball as Tierney goes on the outside. Great run from Tierney, he's beyond his man. Tierney with a dangerous ball into the box, it takes a deflection, and it's corner number 2 for the Hoops.
Promising attack and play from Celtic there. Great to see Kieran Tierney doing that. We saw that on Saturday against Shamrock Rovers. He's so effective at doing that. Great acceleration, just knocking the ball round the opposition defender and using his pace to tear away from them. Looks up, tries to pick out Odzon Edouard in the back post, as he did do on Saturday, which led to a goal. Defence has managed to scramble it clear, so Olivier Ntcham will take Celtic's second corner now.
Yeah, Ntcham with a near post one. This time it's low and it's cleared easily at the near post. Disappointing outcome there for Celtic, and it will be Alashkert perhaps with an opportunity to break. The ball held up by the lone striker, and here come Alashkert forward. It's a ball in from the right hand side, but that's easy meet there for Craig Gordon in the middle. Alashkert perhaps their first meaningful forward foray of the contest. Celtic deal with that comfortably, and now they're quickly back on the front foot. Jack Henry just playing it across to Christopher Ayer. Ayer looking for options, not afraid to come forward himself, however, but that pass goes astray and it's intercepted, and Alashkert come forward down the right hand side again. Can they get a dangerous ball into the mix? No, they can't, because that's excellent defending there by Simunovic. A timely tackle, and that's got Celtic front foot of Moussa Dembele. It's actually, yes, Moussa Dembele on that far side. Great strength from the French striker, just shrugged off his marker there, and the referee was happy for that to continue. Alashkert player is on the ground, and that just looked like the pace and strength of Moussa Dembele just coming to full effect again there, Tony.
Yeah, it's hard for any opposition defender, no matter how strong you are, to contend with Moussa Dembele's patience, strength. He uses it to such good effect there, and it was a phenomenal tackle from Jozo Simunovic. Well timed, wins the ball, looks up, sees Moussa Dembele trying to make that run, and plays a good long ball to him. Unfortunately, nothing came of it, so it's a goal kick now to Alashkert.
Yeah, so just a pause in proceedings as Alashkert defender, who took a slow one there from Moussa Dembele, gets up, and he will know he'll be in for a torrid evening here in the Republican Stadium from the French striker. As Kancerevic launches that goal kick down the left hand side, but Celtic have players back there to with the danger. It's Reis on the ball, and takes a sole one there from Jack Henry. And one of Alashkert's new summer signs is still on the floor. I think he'll be okay to continue there, Tony. Didn't look too much in that. I think he really made the most of that challenge.
Countryman Neymar, who's an expert at doing that, yeah, Brazilian. Reis, he's saw red earlier this year actually while playing with his former team. He's known as a little bit of a hothead, so we'll see if he can keep his composure throughout the game tonight.
Well, hopefully we won't see any more of Neymar type histrionics in this match, Tony. It's been a feature of the World Cup. of course, which of course sees a Celtic player in the semi-finals, Dedrick Boyata of Belgium. And it'd be wonderful to see him reach a World Cup final. But for the moment, it's club matters that we're interested in, as Celtic try and prevent Alashkert attacking down the left-hand side. But it's a good tackle there from Jack Hendry on Reis, as we spoke about earlier. And it will be a throw into Alashkert midway inside the Celtic half, which will be taken by Dagbashian. There'll be a second throw in, which is taken by Dagbashian again, infield. And it's Dashan there who tries to come forward, but Celtic have plenty of men back once again. It's a quick throw in there from Alashkert though, perhaps catching Celtic unawares, and the ball can come into the mix, and possibly a half chance there at the far post. Well, it was Dagbashian with the cross into the box, and a chance there for the striker in the middle there, Tony, and never really made the most of that effort. Tried to knock it back across goal, but a slight scare there for Celtic.
Yeah, thankfully I think there was just a little bit too much on that. It was behind him, so he couldn't really direct his header goalward, so he tried to play it back across goal. Had a couple of Celtic players on him, and thankfully there was no one there to run into the space that he headed it onto. But yeah, a wake-up call for Celtic.
Scoreline remains 0-0 here. 12 minutes into the game, Celtic have started the brighter. A couple of corners, an effort goal from Callum McGregor, but the match remains deadlock as Alashkert try and come forward down the right-hand side. But again, Celtic come away with it, and it's Christopher Ayer out to Jack Hendry. Hendry back inside, and he's dumped to the ground there by Reis, and it will be a free kick for Celtic, just short of the halfway line inside their own half. And it's Jack Hendry who takes it to Simunovic, out to Kieran Tierney on the left, hugging the touchline as usual. It's a lovely turn there from Onson Edouard, just crowded out before he could advance towards the penalty box, but the French striker will keep pursuing that ball, and Moussa Dembele will as well, closing down Kancerevic there. Good play again from the two Celtic strikers, combining well, pressing high and forcing the error, Tony.
Yeah, a sign of intent from the player there, really looking to put the defence under pressure. Odds-on Edouard, it wasn't good initially. First touch, tried to break away just a little bit too far in front of him, but Moussa Dembele's aware to try and latch on to that pass back to the keeper.
Throw into Celtic, and they keep on the pressure. Ball worked to Cal McGregor at the edge of the area. He tries to slip a pass in there. There's a couple of Celtic players in close attendance, James Forrest and Moussa Dembele. None had read that though, slight misunderstanding there between the Celtic players. But hopefully we'll see some more chances created by the Hoops as we enter the 14th minute of the game. 0-0 still here in the first leg of this UEFA Champions League first qualifying round. Celtic aim to start their competitive campaign with a positive result and build a handsome lead to take back to Glasgow. As Kieran Tierney bursts down the left hand side. Excellent play from Tierney, accelerates from too many, digs out a deep cross towards the far post. Forrest there knocks it back into the box. It falls for McGregor. McGregor tries to get the shot away, but he's crowded out there. I think the challenge came in from Reis there at the edge of the box, just preventing the Celtic midfielder from letting fly. And here comes Celtic again. It's Incham out to Tierney. Tierney on the left puts in a dangerous ball. It's for Dembele. It's only inches away from the French striker, and the ball goes out for a goal kick. But a terrific cross in from Kieran Tierney, Tony.
Yeah, Kieran Tierney shown once again what he can do down that left side, and that's the sort of freedom that he's afforded when Celtic play with a back three. Two really dangerous crosses in there. The first, again, great pace from Tierney, looks up, plays a great ball. It's played back across goal from Forrest to McGregor, controls it with his chest and looks to get a shot off, but he's closed down by the defence. And then the second one again almost finds Moussa Dembele in the box.
Well, Celtic unable to capitalise on that opportunity, but further encouragement for Brendan Rodgers and his backroom staff on the touchline. And that goal kick from Kancerevic has gone out of play, and it will be a Celtic throw-in on the halfway line, which is taken by Jack Hendry. And then a high boot there, dangerous play from Brazilian Reis, taking Jack Hendry in the smack in the face, and quite rightly a yellow card there for the Brazilian. And you spoke, Tony, about how he'd been red carded with a bit of a controversial moment in his past. Well, that was certainly a dangerous challenge, and perhaps in different circumstances we could have seen a red card brandished there, because that was a very, very reckless high boot there from the Brazilian winger.
Yeah, it's a stupid challenge. There's no need to be putting in challenges like that in the middle of the park. Hopefully Jack Henry's all right. Looks like it wasn't the studs that caught his face, but that's completely unnecessary, and yeah, he's deservedly booked for that now. And for someone who has a reputation as a bit of a hothead, he's going to be under a lot of pressure now, having that yellow card so early in the game.
Thankfully it looks like Jack Henry's going to be okay, despite taking that sore blow to the face, just receiving treatment there from the Celtic medical team on the touchline. And referee just coming across to see that the Celtic defender is okay, and he is, and he will take the free kick. Just inside to Scott Brown on the halfway line to Ncham. Ncham looks for options, just switches play back to Jack Henry before Scott Brown takes control, moves it forward to Dembele. Dembele tries to just manoeuvre his way from his marker with his first touch as Scott Brown closes down Reis again, and he's not happy with the close attentions of Scott Brown. He does have a free kick this time though. The ball launched forward, only in the direction of Christopher Ayer, however. And here come forward Alashkert. Ball played through the middle, looking for the run of the striker, Nenadovic, but no real danger there ever for Celtic, with Simunovic covering behind. Reis on the ball on the left touchline, cutting inside. As Alashkert try and hold on to possession, but Celtic working hard to deny them any comfort on the ball. That's good closing down there by Odsonne Edouard, forcing Alashkert to launch it forward through goalkeeper Sarevic, and it goes all the way through to Craig Gordon. Gordon to Christopher Ayer. Of course, started his career further forward, so comfortable on the ball. Before Scott Brown takes over. Brown out to James Forrest on the right hand side. Brown back, Forrest back to Jack Henry, who plays it long, and that's a bit of an error there from the Alashkert defender, and allows Callum McGregor to advance towards the edge of the box, and it takes a last ditch challenge to thwart the Celtic midfielder, and then he's dumped to the ground by Pravsnovski, who did well for his side initially, making an important challenge on Callum McGregor, but the Celtic midfielder worked hard back and then forced the defender to make that foul, and it will be a free kick for the Hoops on the angle of the box. And it looks like Callum McGregor is keen to take responsibility for this one. Plenty of Celtic players forward, with only Scott Brown and Kieran Tierney staying back to guard the lone striker, Nenadovic. Ncham and McGregor over the ball. Will it be the shot? Will it be the cross? We'll soon find out, as the referee just pauses play to get things organised in the box. It'll be Ncham. It's Ncham with the cross. It's cleared though at the near post, much to the relief of the home side support. And it could be a chance for Alashkert to break down the right hand side. That's excellent play from Scott Brown, an excellent interception, and then cool, calm, composed play from the Celtic midfielder. Works it inside to Ncham to McGregor. McGregor trying to weave his way through the middle, just crowded out there by a raft of Alashkert players. And it's Reis who picks up possession for the hosts, all the way back to Pravsnovski, who picks up possession once more. It's the left back Dagbashian, all the way back to Pravsnovski. Pravsnovski is forced just to play it across to Boss Canyon before Alashkert emerged with the ball on the right hand side. Just a lofted pass, and possibly a chance here as Simunovic is unable to defend that ball, and the shot comes in the angle, and it's an excellent save from Craig Gordon. It looked like it was Dashian that got the shot in there, trying to deceive Craig Gordon, and it was a smart save from the Celtic goalkeeper, Tony. Yeah, and a really important one. Thankfully got down to it, saved well, and no one else was able to get on the end of the Here's a chance again for Alashkert into the box. The shot comes in and it's not far away. Well, two scares in quick succession for Celtic, and that provides further encouragement to the home crowd here in the Republican Stadium. just Alashkert just taking that quickly, and the shot came in on the edge of the box. Craig Gordon watched it as it flew wide, but a warning for Celtic that they can't really get complacent in this game, Tony.
Yeah, Celtic afforded them too much time there, and they were able to get a shot off just on the edge of the box, and I think that was just about a yard wide of the top corner, so a scare for Celtic, and here we are on the attack now.
Yeah, straight down the other end, Celtic come forward. Can they reply to that Alashkert chance? It's Incham looking for options. He has Tierney on the left. He elects to pass the ball to the Celtic youngster. Celtic go across to the other side though, to Jack Hendry, working the ball out to James Forrest. Forrest tries to dig out across. He does. It's a good one. It's in the direction of Cal McGregor. It's only cleared as far as Incham, as Alashkert trying to struggle to get that one away. Eventually, free kicks awarded for a foul by Moussa Dembele. Didn't look too much into that in that one, but the referee deems that to be a foul. It was a good ball in there from James Forrest. Tony, just unfortunate. Celtic didn't have anyone on the end of it, and Alashkert managed to avert the danger.
It was a good response from Celtic, given that scare a wee minute ago. Good to see Callum McGregor driving at the defence there. He's full of confidence, and rightly so. Already scored in pre-season. He's looked good, and unfortunately he wasn't able to find a teammate that could direct that cross goalward.
Well, it'll be Kan Serevic who will take this free kick, just launches it down the right hand side, and it's won by Incham. He takes a sore one in the process. The referee waves play on, however. Sporting play there from Alashkert, as Gregorian just puts the ball out of play so the Frenchman can receive treatment, and hopefully he'll be okay to continue. We'll soon see if he requires some medical attention. It looks like he's going to be okay. Midway through the first half, it's still goalless here. Celtic starting the drive, having a couple of early opportunities, and in the last few minutes the home side have come back into things with a couple of efforts from goal, most notably through Dashan down the right hand side, which Craig Gordon stopped with a smart save, and it's the Celtic goalkeeper in possession with the ball at the moment, just rolling it out to Jack Hendry. Hendry all the way back to the Celtic shot stopper. Gordon elects to go long this time, looking for that diagonal to pick out Kieran Tierney, but the ball goes out of play, and it will be a throw into Alashkert. And they try go forward down the right hand side again through Dashan, who had that earlier chance. Celtic go long though, looking for Dembele. And it's also on Edward doing some good work there. And yep, no foul there. Linesman was right on hand. It's good work from Odson Edward. Gives Celtic the throw in, forcing the error, which will be taken by Forrest. Forrest and Edward. Edward tries to pick out Forrest again with a return pass, but that's intercepted. Jack Hendry taking a quick throw in on the halfway line. Links up with Scott Brown. Henry back to Brown. And Celtic midfielder is forced out of play there. It'll be a throw into Alashkert, but Tony, a feature of Celtic's playing the opening part of the game is those two strikers up top working very hard and closing Alashkert down, and hopefully that could be a source of a Celtic chance in this half, because there have been times where Alashkert have almost been caught out in possession.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of promise in that partnership between Moussa Dembele and Odson Edouard. They link up well together. They have a good understanding. The first time we saw the pair up front starting together was I think against Hearts in January, and that ended 3-1 with Odson Edouard getting on the score sheet as well that game. And as we say, the last pre-season game there against Shamrock Rovers, both of them finding the score sheet again. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the pair.
That's just a long ball forward from goalkeeper Kancerovic, and that's comfortable for the Celtic defence, but it's Alashkert who pick up the pieces again in the midfield. As Dashan just watched that ball inside before it's swept out to the left back. Dashan, and it's as Alashkert come down the left, sorry. And it's Dashan who'd come across on the right, tried to smuggle that pass inside before a very optimistic shot comes in there from Gregorian. It was never troubling Craig Gordon, miles over the bar. And that brings a attacking 4-8 to an end for Alashkert. Now Celtic will come forward this time on the left. Tierney back to Sminovic, and it's Scott Brown on the ball, all the way out to James Forrest on the right hand side. Forrest inside to Jack Hendry. Hendry inside to Christopher Ayer. Ayer on the halfway line to Sminovic. Back inside to Scott Brown. Celtic patiently probing for an opening, waiting for the space to open up. Going from side to side, and Scott Brown takes control again. This time the play moves out to the left, and it's Kieran Tierney. Tierney, who's been positive and purposeful as always in this first half. He tries to pick out the run of Ncham. It will be a Celtic throw-in near the corner flag, which will be taken by Tierney. Tierney looking for options. He finds Moussa Dembele. Dembele holds the play up. Works the ball back to Tierney. Tierney back to Sminovic. Inside to Ncham, and that's a good ball from Ncham. It finds Dembele with the shot, and it produces an excellent save there from Kancerovic. And Celtic coming close there. A lovely shot from the angle from Moussa Dembele, and good build-up play as well from the hoops, Tony.
Yeah, Olivier Ncham, Moussa Dembele linked up well there. Dembele, a great shot, and he's really unfortunate to be denied by the keeper, who pulled off a great save there. He's looked up, he's spotted the opportunity to try and curl that into the top corner with the inside of his right foot, but denied by a fantastic save.
Celtic again on that left hand side. It's been a profitable route of supply so far. Can it produce the opening goal for the Hoops? It's Scott Brown in possession in the middle of the park, linking up with Jack Hendry. Out to Ncham. Ncham out to Tierney again. Tierney, who's been a thorn in Alashkert's side so far. Tierney, who's got several players around him, just watched it back to Ncham. Ncham in field to Christopher Ayer. Ayer on the halfway line. Spots Callum McGregor. McGregor spins away from one man. Finds Edward. Edward tries to slide a pass through for Tierney. Tierney appeals for a handball. No award is forthcoming, however, and Alashkert try and break. Celtic defence is there to mop things up, and it'll be Ncham again on the ball. Ncham, that's a good penetrating pass for Tierney. Tierney into the box. Tierney with a low cross, and it forces the other corner. That was good patient build up from Celtic, Tony, and another chance to test Kancerovic in the goal.
We expected that coming into this game, that Celtic would have to be more patient in the build-up, not just with the heat, but with the way that Alashkert like to sit deep. They don't want to concede an away goal, but it's been promising. Kieran Tierney's been really effective down that left side, and another corner for Celtic. We'll see if something can come of this.
Ncham again taking responsibility for the set pieces. Ncham just taking his time as the referee sorts things out in the middle. A couple of players coming together, and Ncham will be hoping for a better delivery than the previous one, which was cleared at the near post. Ncham over the ball, and it's a good one into the mix, and not dealt with real command there by the goalkeeper. In fact, it's headed clear. Kancerovic trying to come and claim that, but it was eventually headed clear. But Celtic will have the throw in, and perhaps that's an indication that Celtic could exploit more set piece situations, given the defending of that one. But for the moment, trying to come forward through Dembele. The ball's cleared down the left hand side. Celtic have plenty of men there, and it's Christopher Ayer who will throw this one back in to Simunovic on the halfway line, coming in from his left centre back role. He's played this evening and for most of pre-season, and he links up with Christopher Ayer. The big defender comes forward. He finds his fellow centre back Jack Hendry, who feeds it to McGregor. Then Forrest cuts in from the right, away from several challenges. Good play from Forrest. He links up with Brown, picking up the return ball. Forrest with the shot, and it's not far away from James Forrest, just a couple of inches wide of the post.
Brilliant shot from Forrest there. Lots of power behind that, and I thought that was heading for the top corner. Can't be more than a few inches wide of the mark there. He looked up, he saw he had a bit of time and space, drove forward a couple of yards with the ball, and let off a really powerful right-footed strike that was really threatening.
James Forrest has been in excellent form pre-season, continuing where he left off in the previous campaign. An outstanding season for Celtic as they clinched the historic double treble, and we're now going to have a pause in proceedings as both sets of players take a well-earned water break. And Brendan Rodgers spoke about that last night, I think, to the media, Tony, the importance of taking on some fluids in these temperatures. I mean, we are sitting here commentating and we're struggling with the heat, so goodness knows how the players are coping out there on the pitch.
It takes time really to acclimatise to these conditions. I mean, the team came out a bit earlier, but really to be playing in this kind of heat, it really takes time to get used to. So these water breaks are really important for them. Pre-season gave a little bit of training for that in Austria. Temperatures around 26 degrees for some of the games, but still here it's around 30, 31 still, so it's that bit more intense, and they just need to really manage themselves throughout the 90 minutes.
Well, the players just taking on some water, as we spoke about, and it's important that they remain hydrated throughout this game, even though it's, as Tony said, it's the evening here in Armenia. It is still sweltering, it is still extremely hot, and it's important that the players, particularly this early juncture of the season, remain hydrated as they try and see out this game. And although Celtic have been in fine form in the past couple of games, picking up a positive result against Sparta Prague and then a thumping victory over Shamrock Rovers at the weekend, nothing is a substitute for competitive football, and hopefully they can go on and claim the victory this evening. The scores remain deadlocked at 0-0 at the moment after the water break there. Just went down to the 32nd minute of the game. There will be a bit of time added at the end of the first half following that stoppage, however. And we'll restart with Kancerovic, the goalkeeper, launching this one down the left, looking for Reis, the Brazilian, the only player to have been shown a yellow card so far for that high challenge on Jack Hendry. And it will be the Celtic defender who takes this throw in. Hendry receives the ball back there from James Forrest, and then plays a intelligent pass into Moussa Dembele. Dembele moves it to Ncham, and Ncham with space on the left. It's Kieran Tierney who has vacated it. Tierney invited to come forward, he does, and he's filled at the edge of the box there. Well, that looked like a foul on the Celtic fullback as he bombed forward there, but the referee just played continue, and it will be Alashkert attacking, this time on the right, as they attempt to mount a counter. And the ball's played infield to Alashkert midfielder. It was Sekulic who had a sight of goal there. Well, Celtic defence managed to scramble across and make the block, and you can see Alashkert's game plan, Tony, as this another cross comes in from the right. This one's wasteful, though, it goes out for a Celtic throw-in, but hoping to hit Celtic on the break and maybe try and get in behind the Celtic wing-backs.
Yeah, we're beginning to see that. They're sitting deep, soaking up the pressure, and they do have a bit of pace up front, as Brendan Rodgers mentioned yesterday in his press conference, so they are trying to catch Celtic on the counter-attack, particularly seeing as Celtic are playing with a back three. That was a really important tackle there from Scott Brown to deny the opposition getting a shot off in a dangerous area.
Frustration there for Odsonne Edouard as he tried to take that ball and he stride up the right-hand side, and it will be a throw-in to Alashkert, just near the halfway line inside their own half, and it's nodded back by Sekulic for the captain. Gedgaryan takes over before Reis takes a tumble. We've already seen so far that it doesn't take much for him to go down. Celtic continue to play on, the referee happy with play to continue. Eventually the referee blows his whistle and will bring play to a stop. And it's Reis holding his face there. I'm sure he'll be able to continue. And he's claiming an elbow there. I don't think there was much in that whatsoever, and certainly looking to claim every foul he can there. It was James Forrest just brushing him off the ball, certainly not much in that at all, and no surprise that Reis was fine to continue, Tony.
He looks increasingly frustrated down that left side there. He's not had much luck, and a lot of that's to do with how well Jack Hendry started the game. I've been impressed with him. He looks like he's grown in confidence in that position out there in the right. He's more familiar with a central defence role, but he's grown in confidence out in the right and looking like he's improving in every game in that position.
Celtic back in the ball through Jack Hendry, receiving a pass from Craig Gordon. That's good, comfortable play there from the former Dundee man as he strides forward out of defence, showing his assurance on the ball. before Scott Brown links up with Simunovic. Brown infield to McGregor. McGregor on the halfway line out to James Forrest. Forrest darting away from his marker. Eventually crowded out, but Scott Brown picks up the loose pass and he feeds it into Edward. Edward tries to link up there with Mr Dembele. Dembele tried to find his fellow Frenchman with the return ball, but Alashkert were equal to the danger and they just launched the ball forward. It has gone out for a throw into Celtic though. Celtic trying to pierce their way through the Armenian side with some quick passing. They almost got through there with Odson Edouard and Mr Dembele linking up. And judging by that performance at the weekend against Shamrock Rovers, Tony, in particular, it looks like a profitable partnership this season for Celtic if those two can continue linking up to such good effect.
Yeah, exactly. The two of them are looking very effective up front, and we'll see that with more competitive action in pre-season. The pair of them played really well, impressed the manager, and the manager's been very confident in his selection to put the two of them up front as he did on Saturday, and both of them have proven effective so far in this game, putting the opposition under pressure.
It was Kieran Tierney trying to come forward there, past two defenders, and eventually the foul was awarded to Alashkert, somewhat harshly, but they have the free kick, which is taken by the goalkeeper, Kancerovic, just down the right hand side. The lone striker, Nenadovic, tried to get on the end of that. There was little support there for the lone front man, and at Celtic they come away with it again. McGregor to Ncham. Ncham is Tierney, offering his usual enterprise on that left hand side, back inside to Ncham. Ncham slides a pass through for Dembele. Dembele into the box, he's faced up by a defender. Dembele tries to get the ball across goal. It falls from McGregor in the box. Can he get a shot away? He can, and it's just inches beyond the far post. Well, perhaps the clearest sight of goal for Celtic there in the 37th minute. It was Callum McGregor the ball fell to. He managed to dig out a shot there inside the box, just couldn't steer it inside the far post.
Really good play there from Moussa Dembele. Tried to cut it back for Kieran Tierney, and Callum McGregor's caught the break of the ball, and more often than not he puts those away. He's looked up and he's hit a left-footed shot across the face of goal, trying to find that far bottom corner, and he was just inches wide of the mark.
Callum McGregor, normally so assured and composed in front of goal, just off target there. And Celtic look to claim the first goal of this match. It remains 0-0 here in Yerevan, the capital of Armenia. Celtic look to start their UEFA Champions League campaign with a win, but it's Alashkert coming forward at the moment. Dashan driving into the box. There's a chance here on the right hand side. It's an excellent block by Simunovic. A second opportunity perhaps for Nenadovic, the striker, but the offside flag has been raised. Well, another scare there for Celtic, just when they were looking to build some momentum with that chance from Callum McGregor. It was direct running there from number 9, Dashan, who had the earlier chance. An excellent block there from Simunovic. The rebound falling for the striker, Nenadovic. He couldn't get a shot away though with the offside flag being raised, and that was important. Celtic escaped that, Tony. You know, as we approach half-time, the last thing Brendan Rodgers would want would be to lose a soft goal like that.
Yeah, that'd be a real downer to end the half on. Good play from the midfielder there, dragging a few Celtic players out and then just slipping the ball out right. And it was a really crucial tackle from Jozo Simunovic to get down and block that shot.
Throw in for the hosts on the left-hand side. Ball eventually falls for Dashan, who's been a lively presence for the hosts, probably the most productive player, as Callum McGregor tries to work his way forward. Gives away the foul there for foul on Gregorian, just around the halfway line. And that'll be a free kick to Alashkert. They take it short. As Sekulic just works the ball out to the right hand side. And it's the captain, Yedgaryan, on the ball, just working the ball back into defence to Voskanyan for Alashkert come forward down the right hand side. It's Sekulic with the ball over the top. Kieran Tierney's tracked the run there, good defending from Tierney. There's the full back. Yedgaryan tried to come forward. and he's gone down in the box. Didn't look much like that at all. That was just good, strong defensive play from Kieran Tierney. You see a replay, Tony, and a lot of responsibility and onus on the Celtic wing backs this evening, to get forward, but also to be concentrated on their defensive duties at the same time.
Yeah, Kieran Tierney is going to have to do a power of work down that left-hand side of the pitch, as we have seen him do. He's got great cardio. He's come into pre-season looking really strong. He's looking sharp. He's capable of getting up and down that park, and he's going to be a crucial player for Celtic throughout this game, both in attack and in defence.
The ball just thrown back into play. I think it'll just be played back to Craig Gordon. It has been. Gordon rolls the ball out to Jack Hendry. Hendry to Forrest, coming deep to help out his fellow Celt. Forrest tries to throw the pass back inside, but it's intercepted, and Sekulic has some space to exploit. The ball eventually comes in there from the fullback, Dagbashian. The pieces are picked up by Alashkert again, as the captain takes aim there, and it wasn't far away from Yedgaryan. Just cutting onto his left foot there and getting the strike away, maybe a yard or two over the bar, Tony.
Yeah, an ambitious effort from around 30 yards there with the left foot. I think Craig Gordon knew that it was going over, but again, they're showing their willingness to attack and have a go. I thought James Forrest was perhaps fouled out in that right wing there, which led to that attack. He did well to handle the pressure, and then as he was breaking away, it appeared to be brought down, but the referee called nothing.
The referee not interested in that one, and another possible attack there by Alashkert. It fizzled out after Dashian was unable to get the ball under control. Thankfully for Celtic, it just went out for a throw-in, and there'll be the hoops coming forward this time down the right-hand side. McGregor looks to be fouled there, much to the consternation of the Alashkert bench and players. But the linesman was right up with play there, and he awards the free kick for the foul on the Celtic midfielder. Celtic just taking the time over this one before Jack Hendry will take responsibility. Looks like he'll just take this one short. Just 3 minutes before half time. Of course, there will be some extra time added on for that water break on the half-hour mark. And it's Jack Hendry in possession again. Good play from Jack Hendry there. Composed play. Finds McGregor as well with a nice pass through a ruck of players. Eventually it's Tierney who picks up the ball on the left hand side, inside to Ncham, back to Scott Brown. Brown looking for options, plays it forward to Ncham. Ncham tries to play the penetrating pass inside to Tony Glad, but it's Alashkert to come forward again, and it's the striker Nena Dovic who was looking to get in behind there, trying to fasten on to that pass, but Christopher Naya had a close watch on the lone front man for Alashkert, and it's Celtic in possession. Smirnovic inside to Scott Brown, to Jack Hendry. Hendry infield to Olson Edward. Edward on the halfway line coming forward. Edward with a lovely pass through for Moussa Dembele. Can he get in behind the Alashkert back line? He can, but it was Kancerovic, the goalkeeper, who was out quickly to thwart the French striker, and possibly Celtic's first goal of the game, Tony.
Another great chance for Celtic there. It was good vision to spot the run of Moussa Dembele. I think just a little bit too much on it. The keeper was reacting well, quick off his line to thwart the danger, but Celtic again, more attacking play, threatening going forward with Moussa Dembele and Olson Edward. Plenty of chances coming from different players all over the pitch.
Two French players linking up to good effect once more. As Ncham comes across the halfway line. Ncham tries to feed the ball through for Edward, but Alashkert first to the ball, and they'll come forward through the skipper, Guardian, and it's the full-back, left-back, who's seen plenty of possession as well. Dagbashian, who's also involved there before the ball was worked back to Kancerovic, who's been called into action on a couple of occasions, most notably that save from Moussa Dembele from the angle. And now into the 45th minute as half-time approaches. The score remains 0-0 in the Republican Stadium in Yerevan. Both teams have had attempts in goal. Celtic have had most of the ball in these difficult, hot, humid conditions here in Armenia. As Craig Gordon picks up that loose pass over the top. There'll be Simunovic forward to Cham. Simunovic on the ball again. Infield to Jack Hendry, playing at right centre back today. Hendry infield to Scott Brown. Brown forward to Cham, just exchanges passes with the French midfielder before Tierney takes control on the left. Tierney looks for options, he'll just go back to Cham though. Celtic content to hold on to the ball, don't want to make any unforced errors as half-time approaches. Can they get that final chance though before the break and hopefully conjure up that opening goal of the game? It's Brown on the ball on the halfway line as we enter stoppage time. Brown forward to Edouard, who's taken late there. That was a rash tackle, and I was thinking the referee was going to go to his pocket there again. The Alashkert player perhaps fortunate to escape further punishment. Celtic take the free kick quickly. It's Forrest on the right touchline. Forrest squaring up to his mark. Tries to go on the outside. Good play from Forrest. Can he dig it across in the byline? Has to go back onto his left foot. Does well to work it inside towards McGregor. McGregor just can't reach that though. And it'll be a throw into Celtic. And as half-time approaches, Brown all the way across to Simunovic. Simunovic approaches the box and he plays it into Edouard. Edouard back to Simunovic. He tries to batter his way through into the box there. It falls for Forrest and it's turned into the net. And it's the opening goal of the game for Celtic. It's Oddsson Edouard who's there at the far post. Despite the complaints from the home side, Celtic played on. Eventually fell for Oddsson Edouard and he made no mistake, Tony.
It was always coming. Great attacking play from Celtic. James Forrest there latching onto the loose ball, striking it well. Keeper did well to save, but he wasn't ever going to stop that one from Oddsson Edouard. A very good finish from him and a well-deserved goal for Celtic.
Well, it all started with Simunovic battering his way into the box like a battering ram. The ball eventually fell for James Forrest, who hit a cross shot across the face of goal. It fell for Edouard, and that was a cool, calm finish to put Celtic up right in the stroke of half-time. The perfect time to score as well, Tony.
Yeah, he reacted well there, Oddsson Edouard. Sorry, I thought the keeper saved it. It was just a ricochet that fell to him. So good reactions, and he's just side-footed that coolly beyond the keeper from the edge of the 6-yard box.
And that was a clear handball, and frustration there from the captain, Yedgerian, as he tried to come forward straight from the kick-off. Celtic are back on the ball. Well, that was just perfect timing for Celtic. There could be another opening here as Tierney comes forward on the left. Tierney near the angle of the box. Infield to Edouard, the scorer of Celtic's first goal. Edouard does well to get away from his marker, chips the ball into the mix. It's cleared hurriedly by the Alashkert back line. It will be a throw into Celtic. I don't think there'll be enough time maybe to take this throw in, but that won't matter really to Brendan Rodgers and his players. They have that precious 1-goal lead. They have that away goal, and it came with real clinical precision from Oddsson Edouard, continuing his fine pre-season form. The big money buy from Paris Saint-Germain, finishing with aplomb, and he tries to pick up the ball edge of the box again. It falls for Cham, who takes aim, but that one's well over the bar, and it's the last act of note in the first half, which has ended perfectly for Celtic. It's Celtic 1, Alashkert 0, as both teams head in for the break. The goal coming in the 47th minute from Oddsson Edouard after good work from Jozo Simunovic. James Forrest lashing the ball across goal. It fell for the French striker and he topped the ball home to put the Hoops in control of this match. And Tony, it's been a difficult half at times for Celtic in these really difficult conditions, and Alashkert have threatened the